Welcome to The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Sherry Donnie. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. If you or someone you know is being abused at home in a domestic partner abuse situation, know that there is help. Please call 800-799-7233 National Domestic Violence Hotline, La Línea Nacional sobre Violencia Doméstica, TTY 800-787-32.
Somebody head to the window.
I would never hold a girl head to the window unless she had it coming. So are you saying, Mr. Newton, you have never had to physically discipline a woman?
Never.
Oh my God.
Because I'm going to tell you, in my humorous to talk about disciplining a female or even a male where it takes physical force, right? So for me, I'm not calling it fake or whatever. Like, if my father always told me, if she makes you want to put your hands on her, that ain't the woman for you.
But when I push him, he demonstrates. So I'm not gonna do that no more.
So can we please put a microscope to when you say demonstrate? What does that mean?
Discipline.
In what regard?
Physical discipline is something that is the last resort.
No.
It's the last resort. I'm just giving you my point of view.
Okay, I'm gonna give you mine when you.
It's the last resort, but it might be necessary sometimes. Because there's a lot of girls who like she's worth it.
Like
it's worth it. Having to discipline her. Because I really don't want to have to discipline you. If you really who you say you are, if you really who I thought you was, we never have to go there. We never have to go there. But I'm saying, it's like, yeah, if I'm disciplining you, I'm conforming because I'm not the one who wants to discipline you. You got to get it together. You got to put some effort into yourself, put some effort into being in control of your emotions, where if I say, hey, babe, let's cool out with this because we going too far. Because I'm the leader, you have to understand, all right, let's cool out. We'll talk about it when it calms down.
Is there
3224 trigger warning. Corey Holcomb's recent comments on Cam Newton's podcast sent shockwaves through the Black community and beyond. I am dismayed and disgusted by the behavior of some of these Black men. In what world do they believe it is okay to put their hands on a grown woman? Do they know that they have the right and choice to leave? Cory Holcomb said some of the most disgusting things I have heard since that gross and disgusting Kevin Samuels was spewing his hatred towards women on the internet.
He speaks down to them. He denigrates them. I mean, if verbal violence or verbal abuse is violence, then how are you saying there's no low-level threat of violence when women are verbally abused all across the internet? Okay. So he says there's no low-level threat, and that's the problem. She's supposed to be afraid that he can injure her.
To be verbally disrespectful beyond the point of reason because there's no consequence, because they don't fear the repercussion. So listening to that, and this is why, anybody familiar with the concept of domestic discipline?
No, explain it for us.
Domestic discipline, in a nutshell, is me and Courtney are married.
You know what the crazy thing is? Just yesterday, I was going over the Shahzad Ali book, which I'm going to have to take a little break, hence this video, and this is not even a break. And I brought up a discussion that myself and Sister Mayana did in 2017 about this domestic discipline conversation. And to my surprise, I wake up this morning and here he is talking about, have you heard about domestic discipline? You know, have you heard about this new drug? It's how people push information on you until like their interest is piqued. They're going to go look. They're going to go try to incorporate it in your lives. And next thing you know, you're down this very slippery slope. It's so crazy. Look, the rain start coming down because this is madness. This is madness. It was madness then and it's madness now.
Courtney and I are vibing, but Courtney knows that she can get on one sometimes. And we sit down and say, when you get on one, and after we go through the process, and I use the safe word, banana split, and you still stay on one after I say banana split. You heard me say banana split. I acknowledge you heard me say banana split, and you stay on one. Well, then it's time for the domestic discipline. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Lay across the knee and on the ass. Thank you. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. And what
In this video, I will discuss this ramped idea that the black community has on being violent and how it has gone mostly unchecked. Holcomb told Newton that a man has to put a woman's head to the window now and then. This is no laughing matter because the number of femicides in the black American community is at an all-time high.
Violence Awareness Month, making it more than appropriate to talk about the rise of domestic violence against black women, particularly during the pandemic. Let's use Indiana as an example. In the last 10 months alone of 2020, one Indianapolis-based organization served 50% more domestic violence victims than all of 2019 combined. And since the beginning of the pandemic, domestic violence-related 911 calls have nearly doubled, and the state has seen a 113% jump in deaths related to domestic violence. Live. Now, so Carrie Ann, we'll start with you. That last statistic, black women being nearly 3 times more likely to be victims of abuse than white women. Why do you think that is? Why is this happening to us?
To speculate a little bit, I believe there are certain cultural normative values that in our community has gone unchecked for a while. We do need to have dispute resolution skill sets for families. We also need to discuss any other drug abuse and addiction issues in our community that may lead to domestic violence for black women. The percentages are very stark. It's 40% or more individuals that will experience domestic violence as a black woman. So we have quite a bit to deal with in our community. Some of the music, some of the culture perpetuates a cycle of demeaning our women, which results in a bad relationship dynamic.
Holcomb is a Chicago-born and Los Angeles residing comedian whose audience, according to Holcomb, live on the fringes of society. And this interview shows why he is not invited on mainstream platforms. His words, advocating violence against women, were not just deeply offensive, but incredibly dangerous.
This incident, unfortunately, is not isolated. It shines a light on a deeply troubling issue that has plagued our community for far too long: the normalization of violence against women. Holcomb's statements, cloaked in humor and bravado, reflect a toxic mindset that equates masculinity with dominance and control.
Somebody head to the window. Because
I would never hold a girl head to the window unless she had it coming. So are you saying, Mr. Newton, you have never had to physically discipline a woman?
Never.
Oh my God.
Because I'm going to tell you, in my humorous to talk about disciplining a female or even a male where it takes physical force, right? So for me, I'm not calling it fake or whatever. Like, if my father always told me, if she makes you want to put your hands on her, that ain't the woman for you.
But when I push him, he demonstrates. So I'm not gonna do that no more.
So can we please put a microscope to when you say demonstrate? What does that mean?
Discipline.
In what regard?
Physical discipline is something that is the last resort.
No.
It's the last resort. I'm just giving you my point of view.
Okay, I'm gonna give you mine when you.
It's the last resort, but it might be necessary sometimes. Because there's a lot of girls who are she's worth it.
Like
it's
what?
worth it. Having to discipline her. Because I really don't want to have to discipline you. If you really who you say you are, if you really who I thought you was, we never have to go there. We never have to go there. But I'm saying, it's like, yeah, if I'm disciplining you, I'm conforming because I'm not the one who wants to discipline you. You got to get it together. You got to put some effort into yourself, put some effort into being in control of your emotions, where if I say, hey, babe, let's cool out with this because we're going too far. Because I'm the leader, you have to understand, all right, let's cool out. We'll talk about it when it calms down.
His words are a stark reminder of the urgent need to address this pervasive issue head on. We cannot remain silent in the face of such blatant disregard for the safety and well-being of Black women. This is a call to action. We must challenge these harmful narratives and create a culture of respect, equality, and nonviolence. Let's listen to this clip.
Hall series, Our Chicago, Voices of the Community. I am Val Warner, and I am pleased to be your host for this week's town hall. You know, these town halls, for those who are tuning in for the very first time, and welcome if you are meant to be less typical town hall format and much more of a conversation with all of our guests who are able to add their comments after someone speaks. And we want to hear from you as well. And we have what we think is another important topic to cover this year, and particularly this month, but also perhaps not the easiest of subjects to think about, but let alone has to be discussed. According to the website of Connections for Abused Women and Their Children, CAWC, domestic violence of all types is inflicted on adults all across Chicago. It doesn't discriminate between rich and poor. It affects people of every race, ethnic group, and culture. It takes many forms: physical, emotional, financial, sexual, and more.
Los Angeles police pursuit standards, this one was unusual. It lasted more than 3 hours. We were surprised that he had the gas to keep this going. It ended in the back of this 99-cent store. In his car was left his female passenger. CHP officers said as he was fleeing, they could see him beating her as he drove. One of the longest pursuits in Southern California history comes to an end in the parking lot of a Rowland Heights 99-cent store. Air 7 HD overhead as the driver, who is wanted for beating up his female passenger, runs inside, sending the store into chaos.
And then I heard the police coming in with a gun, and then he's shouting, "Don't move! Get in the ground," and everybody started getting in the ground.
Customers could be seen fleeing, running in a panic out to the parking lot.
I didn't want to look back. I don't even know how my legs got me out of the store.
People start screaming. I don't know what happened, but I just grabbed my wife and started running outside too.
The pursuit began more than 3 hours earlier in Southgate. This driver leading police on a dangerous chase, driving onto sidewalks, veering into oncoming traffic. It wound from LA County into Orange County and back, passing our news truck twice, once on Beach Boulevard in Long Beach, again more than an hour later on the 710 freeway in East LA. California Highway Patrol tells us it began when the driver was seen by Southgate police hitting his female passenger. She was found unresponsive in the parking lot when the pursuit came to an end, but was able to exit the vehicle under her own power and walk to a stretcher. She's at an area hospital tonight. Authorities now consider her to have been a hostage, beaten up and held against her will for hours.
Has been reunited with her family after she was abducted by a 61-year-old man. Deputies say driver saw that girl giving a hand signal she learned on TikTok to show that she was in danger. Chad Hedrick shows us more.
It's one of those times where social media is a good thing. The hours some can spend on trending sites like TikTok now being credited with saving a teen girl's life.
There was some people behind her that noticed that she was making hand gestures that signifies for "I need help." And with them recognizing that signal, they notified 911.
Deputies say the girl had gone missing from her Asheville, North Carolina home Tuesday. She was in a car going south on I-75, driven by James Herbert Brick. The two were coming back from Ohio when someone in another car noticed the girl's signals and called 911.
We don't know.
And you only have to do it once. Shahrazad Ali tried to say that stuff, and it said
A slap becomes a good option. So walking away is not an option. Getting out of the person's space is not an option. Advising that the person take a walk is not an option. Slapping the person is an option. And that's the best option. And you only have to do it once. Ask High Tina Turner.
Black community on fire. Why is this? Because between the men on this platform right now, if we were to moderate what we say, whether we know each other or not, because there's a low-level threat of violence and aggression between all men. Fuck YouTube, fuck degrees, fuck money. You cross a certain line with a man, we're going to have to shoot the fair one. We know that. You can be in a wheelchair, you can be on a crutch, you can whatever. You can be special. You got to do that. But see, there is no low-level threat of violence between women and men today. Women are allowed.
There's no low level. Listen to this conversation is progressing. When I caught wind of it, I shared my thoughts. And it's progressing because that's what these type of thoughts do. You see, slowly introducing, breadcrumbing you until you find yourself into a corner, until you find yourself compromised, until you find yourself abused, and you wonder how you got there. Because first, you denigrate her in public. You chew her down with your words. He says there's no low-level threat of violence, but the women who call into his show, he virtually slaps them.
This clip. Black women.
The women today don't fear what Sean Connery told Barbara Walters. There are times when the best course of action is to slap a woman. That's what Sean Connery said. It's still on.
So how he paused a little bit, and he's saying basically that Shahzad Ali thought there are times when the best course of action is to slap a woman. So you go from speaking about a child, where the child needs to be reared up and disciplined, to transferring that thought process onto a grown person who's supposed to get into a next phase of life in which they're holding one another accountable, but the thought process is to go back to that of a child and to, as he said, what Sean Connery said, slap the woman. Let's continue.
YouTube right now, go look at it. And Barbara Walters was like, thought he was going to recant his statement, and he doubled down. He said, let me explain what I mean. He's like, women have a way of not knowing how to let things go. You can give up the argument. You can let it go. They can know they've won. There's nothing else to be gained, and they will continue to push and push and push. And he said, at that point, once you've exhausted all other options, then a slap becomes a good option. And you only have to do it once. Shahrazad Ali tried to say that stuff, and it said
a slap becomes a good option.
Women in poverty. Why? Like, what's your?
Well, I'm older now. I'm not as young as I used to be. So, women in poverty, I can control them better. A girl who can't afford to say, fuck you, Corey, I'm gone. She just can't afford to do it. So I take advantage of that. Now, that might be wrong, but her poverty and my needs, most of the time, it even out. I don't really need a lot of their time. And they don't tell me to fuck off because they know when I come over, their children can get some...
Hold up, god damn.
Some outlet Jordans.
Outlet Gucci.
Yeah.
But how you speak of women, right? Where you want control. Is there ever...
I don't want control that is taken by force. I want control because I'm the one who is the leader of the pack, naturally.
So could you see yourself in a situation where a woman makes as much as you or more than you?
I like women who make money, just I can't do nothing with you other than sleep with you. If you could take care of yourself, you're gonna think you could talk to me. I don't like you talking to me a lot. I know you got your own money and all like that, so if you want to, we can hook up, hang out, do that for a minute, but I'm saying, girls in poverty, because they have a deficiency. Poverty is a deficiency out here in America. I can fix your little deficiency if you do what I want you to do. I think it's an even exchange.
Yeah, but do you see how that comes off as...
Black women deserve to live free from fear and abuse. Our voices must rise in unison to demand accountability and change. We must create a world where violence against women is not tolerated, excused, or normalized. It's time to dismantle the structures that perpetuate this cycle of violence and build a future where all Black women feel safe, respected, and empowered. The normalization of violence against women, particularly within the Black community, is a deeply concerning trend. This normalization often manifests in subtle ways, from dismissive jokes to the glorification of aggressive behavior in music and media. These seemingly small acts contribute to a culture where violence is seen as acceptable, even expected. We must recognize that violence is never the answer. It is not a sign of strength, but rather a reflection of weakness and insecurity. We must challenge the idea that men have a right to control or harm women. This harmful ideology perpetuates a cycle of abuse that has devastating consequences for Black women, their families, and the community as a whole. It is time to break the silence and speak out against these harmful norms. Let's listen to this clip. The statistics are alarming and paint a grim picture. Black women are disproportionately affected by violence, particularly fatal violence. The term femicide refers to the intentional unaliving of women because they are women.
Statistics show that Black women are unalived at a rate significantly higher than any other demographic group in the United States. This is not a coincidence. This is a crisis that demands our immediate attention.
The intersection of racism, sexism, and economic inequality creates a dangerous reality for Black women. They are more likely to experience poverty, lack access to health care, and face systemic barriers that limit their opportunities. These factors, coupled with the normalization of violence, contribute to the alarming rates of femicide in our community. We must address these systemic issues while simultaneously providing support and resources to those affected by violence. In the face of such adversity, organizations like the YWCA stand as beacons of hope. The YWCA has a long and proud history of empowering women and eliminating racism.
They provide a wide range of services to women affected by domestic violence, including emergency shelter, counseling, legal advocacy, and job training. These programs are essential in helping women escape abusive situations and rebuild their lives.
The YWCA also works tirelessly to address the root causes of violence against women by advocating for policy changes and promoting gender equality. Their comprehensive approach recognizes that ending violence requires a multifaceted strategy that includes prevention, intervention, and systemic change. The YWCA's dedication to the well-being of women and their families is a testament to their commitment to creating a just and equitable society for all. Section 5. Self-reliance. the foundation of empowerment. Self-reliance is not just about financial independence, though that's certainly a crucial aspect. It's about cultivating a strong sense of self-worth, knowing your rights, and having the confidence to advocate for yourself. It's about understanding that you are worthy of respect and deserving of a life free from violence. Self-reliance means equipping yourself with the tools and resources necessary to navigate challenging situations and make informed decisions about your life. This includes seeking out education and information, developing healthy coping mechanisms, and building a strong support system. When you believe in yourself and your inherent value, you are better equipped to set boundaries, recognize red flags, and remove yourself from harmful situations. Self-reliance is not about going it alone. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your well-being and create a life of dignity and respect. Section 6. Education Illuminating Pathways to Freedom. Education is a powerful tool for empowerment. It provides knowledge, expands horizons, and opens doors to opportunities.
For Black women, education is particularly crucial in dismantling the systemic barriers that limit their potential. Education empowers women to challenge societal norms, advocate for their rights, and create a better future for themselves and their families.
It's not just about obtaining a degree, though that's certainly important. It's about fostering critical thinking skills, developing financial literacy, and gaining a deeper understanding of the world around them. Education enables women to recognize and challenge the root causes of injustice and inequality. It equips them with the tools to break free from cycles of poverty and dependence. Section 7. Planned Parenthood, Empowering Women Through Reproductive Choice. Planned Parenthood plays a vital role in empowering women by providing access to essential healthcare services, including contraception, STI testing and treatment, and cancer screenings. Reproductive freedom is fundamental to women's health and well-being. It allows women to make informed choices about their bodies and their futures. When women have control over their reproductive health, they are better able to pursue education, economic opportunities, and personal goals. Planned Parenthood's commitment to providing affordable, quality health care to all women, regardless of their background or income, is a testament to their dedication to social justice and equality. Section 8. Breaking the Silence, Speaking Out Against Domestic Violence. For far too long, domestic violence has been shrouded in silence and shame. This silence only protects the abuser and perpetuates the cycle of violence. Breaking the silence is the first step towards ending domestic violence. We must create a culture where victims feel safe to come forward and seek help without fear of judgment or retaliation.
This means believing survivors, listening to their stories, and offering unwavering support. It also means holding abusers accountable for their actions and challenging the societal norms that condone violence against women.
Section 9. Resources and support. You are not alone. If you are experiencing domestic violence, please know that you are not alone. There are resources available to help you. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7 and can provide confidential support, information, and referrals to local resources. You can reach them at 1-800-799-SAFE, that's 7233. In addition to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, there are many other organizations that provide support and services to victims of domestic violence. These organizations offer a wide range of services, including emergency shelter, counseling, legal advocacy, and job training. Remember, you deserve to live a life free from violence. Reach out for help today. Section 10. A call to action. Building a future free from violence. Creating a future free from violence requires a collective effort. We must all be upstanders, not bystanders. Challenge misogynistic jokes. Call out harmful behavior. Support organizations working to end violence against women. Educate yourself and others about the issue.
Most importantly, believe and support survivors. Our voices, united in purpose, can create a world where all women feel safe, respected, and empowered. Let's break the cycle of violence and build a brighter future together. If you or someone you know is being abused at home in a domestic partner abuse situation, know that there is help. Please call 800-799-7233 National Domestic Violence Hotline, La Línea Nacional sobre Violencia Doméstica, TTY 800-787-3224. As you heard in the clip, Holcomb is a predator that preys on single mothers who live in poverty. I have said for many years that hypergamy is a trap. We have seen the many horror stories from the trad wife community of intimate partner violence. Holcomb and many men, especially in the Black community, share his ideas on being abusive. This is why it is paramount that Black women continue to seek self-reliance, birth control, constructive structured planned parenthood, college education, substantial employment, housing, and transportation. Again, if you or someone you know is being abused at home in a domestic partner abuse situation, know that there is help. Please call 800-799-7233 National Domestic Violence Hotline, La Línea Nacional sobre Violencia Doméstica, TTY 800-787-3224. This has been The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Sherry Donnie. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video.